If you don't get your hand off my leg, you're going to be wiping your ass with a hook next time you take a dump. I never heard no chat like that when I was a boy. From the mind of master storyteller and worldwide bestseller Stephen King comes a movie that proves once and for all that some people should just probably stay in their lane. I'm Liam, he's Rob, and this week on the Hey Guys podcast, we look back at Stephen King's one and only foray into the world of direction, 1986's Maximum Overdrive, otherwise known as Cocaine the Movie. Disowned by its director, I think we can all agree that this tale of machines come to life is objectively absolute ass. But is it fun? Is it so bad it's good? Is it so weird that it's good? Well, since its initial and somewhat understandable critical salvaging, it has gone on to become something of a cult classic. And honestly, can any movie with a murderous vending machine be all bad? Now, Rob, full disclosure, I'm still trying to decide if this is the guiltiest of cinematic pleasures or complete and utter tosh. I mean, I guess the question is, can a movie truly be objectively terrible and still fun? I think this movie's on the cusp of it, but do you have, how do you feel about it?
I mean, firstly, you beat me to it because I was going to say stay in your lane or lay off the cocaine. And yes, Cocaine the movie is absolutely spot on. What you said as well is interesting because I'm deciding whether it's a 1-star or 2-star. I'm still not decided yet what I'm going to give it. Maybe I'll move it up to a 3.
On the score. I think
we'll see what happens.
But no, I know what you mean. It feels like the kind of movie where I'm like, listen, I think I'd be amazed if you're giving this 5 fucking stars.
Yeah, but I remember
my mood can change moment to moment on this film.
I remember objectively liking this film as a kid. But I didn't need much to like films as a kid. I don't need much now, but I didn't need much to like films like this as a kid.
Based on your taste in movie, the bar was incredibly low.
There were machines driving around and killing people. I should have been fucking committed to an asylum if I was loving these films. I only ever saw it once as a kid. Thought it was good. Rewatching it this time, it does have its the bad acting. Again, I know that guy, but they're just in the background. Cast. Yeah, it's a decent cast. The quickness of falling in love, and I appreciate this is a speed scenario where the situation surrounding it. But he's calling them darling and pet and all these other things.
Well,
Leon Rippey dies.
Brett,
yeah. Leon Rippey dies because he steals a diamond ring. Like currency is going to be needed. All of a sudden, and I know I've jumped right to the end.
He was going to die. He was invariable. The moment he went, that is right at the end of the film. But the moment he went over to that dead body to go for the ring, you're just like, well, he's obviously going to die now. That's
and the fact the Green Goblin truck could sneak up on him is insane. And right at the end, the write-up going, oh yeah, and they took down a UFO. What the fuck is the UFO got to do with anything all of a sudden? And they say, because they said the comet was what's causing it, because the tail of the comet. Are they saying, is Stephen King saying at the end, the aliens did this?
Yes, yeah. So there's a weird bit where, God, what's his name? Emilio Estevez's character, Bill Robinson, he's having heat stroke. And let's be clear, up until that point, everyone is amazingly chill about the fact that there are sentient machines outside trying to kill them. One, on the simple level that they're trying to kill them. Everyone, at the pit stop, whatever the hell it's called. It's not called that, is it? What the hell is it called? Dixie Boy pit stop. Thank you very much. Yeah. Everyone there is surprisingly chill about the fact it wants to kill them until they're not. We'll get to the waitress shortly. But the fact that basically nobody asks any questions, there's not a single kind of like, wait, what exactly is going on and why is this happening? There's none of that. And then all of a sudden, Bill has heat stroke and he's like, oh, I think it's like an alien showing up and like sweeping the earth clean so that they can come and take over. And then at the end, you find that there actually is a UFO in the comet. And you're just like, wait, did he just guess correctly? It's absolutely ludicrous. And the answer to every question, just to be clear, is cocaine with this film. Every time they're just like, why did that happen? We're not going to have a sensible answer because there is no sensible answer. The answer will invariably be cocaine. Stephen King has admitted that he can hardly remember making this film. He was absolutely off his tits on cocaine at the time, and it shows up on every frame of this movie.
You hit the nail on the head as well when you said they're absolutely chill. The boy, Geek, is super chill about finding out his dad's dead, about traveling to his dad, about being attacked by a killing vending machine, watching his friend get run over by a steamroller. He's chill with all of this. He's absolutely fine.
It's weird, right? Because his is almost like a side story, but because of his performance or the way he's directed, like you say, he's so chill that there's no emotional up and down. It's just a kid that things are happening to, and you're just like, are we supposed to care? And by the end, you're just like, was he supposed to get here just because he knows Morse code? Because that could have been anyone at the fucking truck stop. And I assume it's one of those things, because I've read the book, and let's be clear, the book by Stephen King, the short story, Truck in Night Shift, a fantastic collection of short stories, of which this is a very good one. It hasn't come through on the screen, as you often get with Stephen King stories.
The issue as well is the rules. And I know
there are rules.
The lack of, should we say, the lack of rules, or the rule that helps the story move forward when that rule won't work again. So
they're very selective with kind of like we need something to get some
machinery.
A to B or whatever.
Is it machinery, or is it machinery run via electricity? Because here's my question, right?
There's mechanical stuff that just moves.
Yeah, so I understand the bridge, possibly.
Yeah, I can get bored with that.
The gun, I'm trying to figure out how the trigger's being squeezed.
That's mechanical. It makes no sense. There's a bit when the rear view mirror moves. This is in 1984. That wouldn't be electrical. That was mechanical. What the fuck's going on?
So, other trucks are taking over, but do you not have to have a driver in them? Because
Who's pushing the gas down?
No, well, Kurt and Connie's car is fine. It's escaping the trucks.
Yeah, why is it cars are okay? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it just trucks? But then it's even within the pit stop, certain things are taken over, but other things which are on the whole time are causing no problems whatsoever. At the end, for instance, against jump straight at the end, they escape on a boat. Why is that any different?
Yeah.
God fucking knows.
Because like
it's not just the rules are fast and loose is probably the nicest way you could put it.
It's not just trucks, because the only emotion Deke shows is when the weird burger van sign starts going, there's humans here, there's humans here, there's humans here, and then Deke goes, this is for my pa, and shoots the fuck out of the sign.
It comes from nowhere, doesn't it? And it's kind of like, well, to bring it back to, the famous waitress sequence when she comes out, what was she screaming? We made you.
We made you. Yeah. We made you.
It's like it comes out of nowhere because again, right? There's a good version of this movie, and it's also a Stephen King adaptation, and it's called The Mist. So The Mist is incredibly similar structurally to this film. Weird shit is going on outside. We're stuck inside. We don't know the scale of it, because all we find out really in this is that it's all happening in Wilmington, North Carolina. And if it's happening in Wilmington, North Carolina, what might be happening, I don't know, literally anywhere other than Wilmington, North Carolina. But that's besides the point. It's the whole idea of putting this group of people together in this really bizarre, extreme situation. And like I said, if you watch The Mist, have we done The Mist on this podcast?
We have done The Mist on this podcast.
Yeah, I thought we had.
I thought we
both love and deals with the emotional impact of having these people all put in the same place, all from different backgrounds, and dealing with this extreme situation. This movie doesn't do fucking any of that.
I hate to cut you off, and I hate to contradict you, but there's a better version of this movie, and it's called Trucks from 1997.
Yes, there is that too. Yeah,
there's the starring. All right. Bit of a bad man now, Timothy Busfield. But it's basically a proper adaptation of Stephen King's works, when this is not an adaptation, like a proper adaptation of Stephen King's own works. It's utterly batshit. Again, going back to the rules of this whole thing. How do the machines know Morse code?
Yeah. Like, how intelligent are they? We really don't know. And again, you think at this point, they're like, well, these machines are just kind of driving themselves and they're trying to kill us, apparently. And they can start guessing it like, oh, maybe it's just by chance. Maybe they're just kind of, malfunctioning. Once the machine starts talking to him Morse code, that shows a genuine level of heightened intelligence.
Yeah.
And again, nobody reacts to it. They're just like, okay, we'll just talk back to the machine gun on the truck thing. And everyone's just like, absolutely cool. That should blow at least someone should say, guys, do you think it's weird that we're talking to intelligent, sentient machines, which have just suddenly popped up? Nobody really mentions the comet thing. Like, that might, like, halfway through the film, all of a sudden, the sky turns green. No one says shit. No one says shit.
Why are the radios working to give you information?
Yeah, why can't they turn those off?
Yeah.
Well, the rules are fine. Again, to come back to my previous answer, the answer is cocaine. Yes.
I have a very serious question for you about this film. Okay. Of all the survivors in Dixie's truck stop, the Dixie Boys truck stop, Who are you sending out to die, and why is it Yardley Smith's Connie?
Oh, dude, I'm glad you brought this up. And that's about as serious a question as you're going to get on this podcast. She is so goddamn annoying. Like when she shows up with her husband in the whole just married sequence and they're in the car, before she spoke, I didn't realize it was Yardley Smith. And I saw them and I was like, I don't know if they are 17 or 72. Yeah. It's just the era. She looks somewhere between a child and a very old lady and nothing in between. And then, of course, she has that voice. Only it's Lisa Simpson, but it feels like it's turned up a few notches. She is so fucking annoying that I'm just like, I would go, not only would I, give her up to the machines, I would go out my way to find an excuse to have her killed by the machine.
I was going to say, I wrote it down. Do you know how they say love is blind? Kurt must be blind, like he must be daredevil blind. But then I thought there's a reason why he keeps offering to do these missions.
Oh, yeah, he knows he's made a terrible decision. It's some kind of fixed marriage. And it is, once you realize it's Yardley Smith, and of course, what you end up hearing then is Lisa Simpson. It's bizarre, especially when there's a chase about halfway through the film, when they're in the car, and they get chased, and the car crashes, and she starts swearing. And all I can hear is Lisa Simpson swearing. And I'm like, this is strange. It's strange.
They have one of the weirdest interactions as well. And like, when I was, been married for a while. I've been with my wife for ages. But I don't think I've ever said to my wife, can I watch you pee?
No. It would be weird. I think that would put a bit of strain on our relationship. If after all these years of marriage, just one day I'm like, can I watch you pee? It's just like, Jesus Christ, you probably should have told me you were into this a while ago.
All these years of marriage, or while you're driving your just married car? Like, which one is the one, which is the weirder one where you say, can I watch you pee? I don't think there's a middle ground here.
No, I don't know. I feel like with something like that, you probably want to get it out the way early doors. I would say before you get married. If you're into like watching somebody pee, I'm just like, listen, before we get married, before we have a house, before we get kids, full disclosure, I like watching motherfuckers piss. Are you on board?
Also, it was funny seeing Frankie Faison in this as the driver of the Green Goblin car, who I thought his name was Andy. Turns out his name is Handy.
Handy? Oh, that changes it quite dramatically, doesn't it? The vibe from Andy to Handy.
And speaking of names, why is one of the only, aside from Emilio Estevez, why is Pat Hingle, who plays Hendershot, calling everybody Bubba when his first name is Bubba?
I really don't know. He's very good in this. He is like
he's good. He's good up to a point, but he's also overacting to fuck.
No, he is. But that's like, and it's strange actually because this movie doesn't have as many of the kind of traditional Stephen King tropes as you'd expect, considering the fact that it was actually directed by Stephen King. But he is such a Stephen King trope in terms of
He's
in a position of power. Who's
going back
bell end?
Going back to your Mist scenario. He is Mrs. whatever her name was, Mrs. Godfrey.
Yeah. But not as bad. He's just obsessed with people clocking in, even though it's apparently the end of the world. He just has this ongoing obsession with people clocking in. Well, it's very strange.
Again, he's that Stephen King trope where he doesn't believe the shit that's happening is happening.
Yeah,
but I do believe you've brushed over my question. His name is Bubba Hendershot. He calls people Bubba. It's like me going, hey, Rob, how are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, no. To bring it back to your initial point, I think I brush over it because, of course, I don't have an answer to it. Of course, I don't have an answer. It's so dumb.
I didn't even know his name was Bubba because they're just calling him Hendershot or Dickhead.
Yeah, I call him Hendershot. Yeah.
Until you go into the change rooms. No, not the IMDb. You go into the change rooms. They went into the shower rooms to go under and rescue the Bible salesman who was already dead.
Wait, was the Bible salesman dead or not? Because he took what it appeared to be a slight bump from one of the trucks. Everyone just assumed he was dead. And then he rightly pops up later on. I was like, oh, no, he's alive. And then he was dead.
And he died. Yeah, he died by grabbing the... In the shower room, it's got showers and then Bubba's shower. So he's got his own personal shower. So his name is Bubba Hendershot, right?
And he's calling everyone Bubba.
And he's calling everyone Bubba. It's absolutely... But going back to the Bible salesman, it's very funny because, I mean, he's a horrible man anyway. You know, he's meant to be God fearing and everything. He's
Very rapey, very rapey.
very rapey. Yeah, it's going to get to the point where if the machines didn't take over, you'd find poor Brett in a ditch or him in a ditch because she was
Yeah,
straight raising the fuck out of his
Brett would take him out. I think Brett could handle
But
himself for sure.
like again, he turned around. So was the boy Deco Duncan? I can't remember. I'm calling him Deke. Was it Deco Duncan, the boy?
I can't remember.
Right.
I just call him boy.
Yeah. So when the boy finally gets there, and the Bible salesman grabs his ankle, and he says, "You pull me, or I will kill you."
Yeah.
Like you're not, and it's his voice as well. It's like getting that tap by that truck has caused his voice box to be destroyed.
Yeah, the way he pops out is almost like a zombie. Again, kind of another Stephen King trope. You know, people in position, not just position of power, but like religious figures and stuff are often dealt, not always, but can be dealt with a certain level of contempt, I suppose. But yeah, his character gets pretty short shrift. It's strange that everyone just assumes he's dead, and then when he pops up like a zombie, it doesn't really make any sense because, like you said, there's no reason for his voice having changed, especially when you see what happened to him. But then you can say that for most of the film because what really sums up this film is like the tonal inconsistency of the violence. Like the deaths in this film in particular range from campy stupidity to genuine violence. Like you mentioned earlier, the kid being run over by a steamroller. Like I can't, even now, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh at that or not. Like when you think,
I mean, you can laugh at this.
The camera doesn't cut away. You see the kid get run over by a steamroller. I'm like,
I mean, you can laugh at it because it's a mannequin with a wig right up to the end. You know, so, I mean, the worst death was the coach. First of all, he gets shot in the nuts.
Tough break.
And then gets shot in the nuts again. So it's like double jackass. And then straight to the dome.
Yeah, it's tough break, but you know what I mean. Like some of it's all like kind of like lame and cheesy, and then other bits they kind of like really go with it with the violence. But I think this film, right from the start, you kind of it tries to confuse you into like, are you watching a horror film? Are you watching a kind of silly sci-fi film? Is this part black comedy? I don't really know. It's like the first thing you see is that opening title card with that terrible graphic of Earth, and I was just like. Because just to confirm, this is the first time I've ever seen this film.
Was your graphic of Earth? Was it like elongated?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It doesn't look great.
And then the transfer I watched looked like it was a VHS copy.
I mean, I was watching on Studio Canal, so it was a 4K transition. So for the most part, the movie actually looks pretty good. But that opening title card just looks rubbish because it is rubbish. It's not like it looked like low definition. It just looks pants. But then after that, what's the first thing you see? Stephen King's face. My movie, my face. The whole fuck you bank machine. I was just like, wait a minute, is this like a broad comedy?
Not just that. Why did it feel like that? And I know AC/DC are all over this. But why did it feel like...
wait, if you want to say something surprisingly good about this film, how about the absolute elite soundtrack? It's insane.
But that felt like a Twisted Sister music video opening. Where he's at the ATM and he's going, Buttercup, come over here. This machine called me an asshole. And then all of a sudden the music starts. It felt like a Twisted Sister opening.
It did, and I think that's part right. Don't get me wrong. The soundtrack in and of itself is amazing. Like it's a really good AC/DC album. But because he's good, and I think it's the only soundtrack they've ever done, he's like, I've managed to get AC/DC. They're doing the soundtrack. I don't care what the scene is. And what the scene asks of me as a director, I'm having AC/DC. So you have that sequence, like you say, where it's being really goofy, AC/DC. When you have the kids dealing with all his friends dying and stuff, he's just at one point he's just riding on his bike. He's not doing shit. What they do, AC/DC over the top. It just doesn't matter. We're just going to use every last note of this AC/DC soundtrack throughout the film. And like I said. If you just take any given moment, you're like, well, the music's fucking cool. But does it match what's going on the screen? No. Very rare. Maybe 1 out of 4 times, if you're lucky.
I'm amazed as well. The obliviousness.
Yeah. I think that's right. That's
too many Nesses, too many Elliot Nesses, but we're going to go with it. The obliviousness of anybody being followed by a machine and not knowing that they're being followed by a machine. Kid who constantly is being a commando and hiding from machines, was followed by a lawnmower and didn't even know it.
Like you said,
the lawnmower wasn't quiet. I said, was Leon Rippey, when he was stealing the ring, was followed by the Joker.
By
the Green Goblin.
Like, the whole group was there. It's like, like obviously the idea is the world's coming to an end for this brief period, for these 6 days until the UFO gets blown up. But you assume there's not much else going on, and they're kind of trying to escape under cover of darkness. You think they'd be listening out for vehicles, but this giant 18-wheeler has got the fucking drop on them. And don't get me wrong, it's not exclusive to this film. I remember watching 2014's Godzilla. I think it was 2014's. A largely very good film. But there's one sequence towards the end where you're just like, wait, nobody in that building could hear Godzilla coming. It's like Godzilla's like 100, 200 foot tall. But of course, he somehow gets the drop on everyone. For a movie like that, you give it the benefit of the doubt because the rest of the movie makes sense. And you're like, oh, well, it's been done for kind of dramatic purposes. It is what it is. With this film, it happens all the time. Why would you pick a lawnmower? Maybe the noisiest of all machines to sneak up on him. But all I was thinking in that sequence is like, man, that BMX is great. It's so
nostalgic. It was a nice BMX.
When you see the BMX and it's got that kind of foam cover on the handlebars and on the side, I'm just like, oh yeah, that just reminds me of that.
Hey, it was convenient. The Hendershot had an arsenal in his basement, wasn't it? It was very convenient.
Well, it partly was convenient, but then again, like you said earlier about how with the rules they play it like fast and loose and only apply them when it suits the narrative. I feel like it's the same with rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Like at one point you're just like, guys, you've got loads of rocket launchers. They're obviously pretty effective against these trucks. Go out and shoot the trucks. But those rocket launchers only show up when they need to.
Yeah.
For the narrative.
I mean, we'll go straight into a Rob take as well, because I had a few for this film. I had to be subjective.
Yeah, no shit.
I had to be subjective. And again, like I like to say, I'm not an expert at arms. Like, I'm not a rocket launcher expert, but I'm pretty sure none of you should be holding it under your armpit. Everyone held it like they shouldn't be holding them.
The waitress, what was her name? Was it Wanda or something like that? Wanda June. When she gets shot, she shoots the rocket launcher one-handed.
Yeah.
One-fucking-handed. I'm like, dude, that would take her arm off. Again, I'm not a rocket launcher expert either. Full disclosure, we say this on every episode. We're not rocket launcher experts, but I'm pretty sure shooting that one-handed would do considerable damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like, I can't remember, what was the film where we saw the Commando and we decided it was a grenade launcher rather than a rocket launcher with like the 4 holes in it. But, when I think about
Commando.
It was Commando, but we saw it in another movie and we went, that's a Commando rocket launcher.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is this is the rocket launcher version. But I feel like, like with Uzis, it feels like these also disappeared after 1989.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't feel like you see these in movies anymore. But it's cool that they're there. But yeah, the use of them, and let's be clear, at one point, the dude who's getting married to Yardley Smith, they're getting chased by, I think it's an ice cream van. He shoots at the ice cream van with a handgun. It fucking blows up. It just blows the fuck up. And I
do think that's because Brett moved forward with. He started shooting it because he shot it and it just popped shots and it was bouncing off.
Yeah.
Then Brett came along with her submachine gun and took it apart.
I still thought
it shouldn't have blown. Yeah, all of it exploded.
But like that's the thing, right? All these things, they add up to the fact that this is objectively, as we said at the start, quite a bad and poorly made movie. It's like you said, the fun levels are a question mark. I'm still convinced that with the right crowd, I can see how this might be an enjoyable watch. But where does this rank for you on like the worst Stephen King adaptation? So other than some of the TV movies, which nobody's really seen, I was taking a look online, and the ones that were listed were Thinner, Dreamcatcher, Lawnmower Man, and Cell. I've not seen Cell. I remember being quite excited about it because it had John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson coming back.
I've seen Cell recently.
I've got the book, which I also haven't read, bizarrely, but is it as bad as they say?
The book is great.
Yeah.
The film, it's
not great.
Not the best, but the film just felt like traditional 90s Stephen King straight to DVD, not straight to DVD.
Okay, fair enough.
What was it? Tommyknockers. It had a bit of the Tommyknockers to it.
No, that film was fine, but yeah, I see what you mean. But like some lists even had like, I mean, I get why people have the Dark Tower because it was disappointing versus what the, I guess, source material would have allowed for or our expectations. I actually thought Dark Tower was disappointing, but it wasn't an outright terrible movie. Same with 2024 Salem's Lot. I actually thought that was okay.
I thought that was okay. I was.
Yeah,
I think we needed the director's cut on that because it all moved at too much of a clip for
it
that
did, it
massive
did.
a
But
book. Yeah.
I think I went in with low expectations. I think it was the same with you. We had talked about beforehand the trailer didn't look great, and then we both saw it and went, oh, that's like a perfectly enjoyable, like it's a 3-star film, but it's fine. And I even saw one list had 2019's Pet Cemetery on there. Get to fuck. That's a good film.
Pet Cemetery, the remake, is a very good film. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
I
much,
would say it's one of the better. I'm not
yeah.
saying top tier, but that's like a 4-star movie.
I tell you the one because it's a massive Stephen King film, same as you.
Mhm.
But I benefit of the doubt. I watched these shit when I was growing up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a film I actually enjoyed, but again, I don't think is going to be well. And I haven't been able to find it over here. This is why I haven't picked it. The Night Flyer.
Oh, I've heard nothing but terrible things about The Night Flyer.
Yeah, it's
That's
basically
been on a few lists, but that's a straight to TV movie, which I haven't. Was it straight to TV Night Flyer?
no. It was a
Cinematic?
DVD. Yeah,
Oh, my apologies.
it's straight to DVD. No, not cinematic, but it went to DVD.
Yeah.
But the other one, and I did watch it. Well, I watched them all. Do you remember the Langoliers?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Night Flyer was interesting. Sorry, because your list was ones that were terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those would belong on the list, but I was like, I wasn't sure because I haven't seen those, and I think they're like lesser known. You know.
So one I think that I'd like to do, but again, it's not for us in the UK at the moment. Is I would love to cover if we can ever get hold of it. Is Silver Bullet with
Silver Bullet.
Gary Busey going full Lucy Busey, and Corey Haim. Corey Haim in a wheelchair fighting a werewolf.
Is that a Stephen King adaptation?
That's a Stephen King adaptation.
Is that what the book's called? What was it? Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet, yeah.
Is that a short story or an actual novel? I've read like loads of his stuff, but I can't remember that.
The book was based on Cycle of the Werewolf.
Okay. Maybe the thing is with some of these, like especially the short story collections, because I've read all of the short story collections, it's that they obviously come and go relatively quickly. A lot of them, and I don't pay any attention to the title. It's like Night Shift, for instance. I didn't know I'd read a book called Trucks, but I know when she started telling me so, I'm like, oh no, I've heard that, but I didn't know it was called Trucks. I had no fucking idea.
I forgot.
Anyway,
I forgot about this film as well. But it was produced by Dino De Laurentiis.
That is the first thing you see. And again, talk about like warning signs. I mean, he's done some good films that we've covered on this podcast. We did Conan, Flash Gordon, Army of Darkness. They were all produced by Dino De Laurentiis. But he's also a complete fucking psycho and has done some absolute stinkers.
I mean, he did Raw Deal, but he did like
Raw Deal.
Yeah, he did a bunch of Stephen King ones. Like he was like Cat's Eye, Silver Bullet, Maximum Overdrive. He was uncredited on Manhunter. Do you remember Manhunter? Oh, he did.
Manhunter. Yeah,
he did Dead Zone, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
That's a really good one. That's like the third best Halloween film, Season of the Witch. It's insane. Oh, we should totally do that at Halloween. That's such.
But yeah, Dino De Laurentiis, mate. He just like he was like, I'm not going to pay you, Stephen King. I'm just going to give you all of the cocaine. And then
that's the thing. It adds Dino De Laurentiis adds to the whole cocaine-y vibe. You just knew he was fucking railing lines all day.
Yeah,
absolute psycho. So one last, Steve, because you may have seen it. Did you see 2022's Firestarter?
No, the one with the High School Musical guy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I avoided that. Yeah, I avoided that because I wasn't a huge fan of the Firestarter book, and I wasn't a fan of the David Keith film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. Well, David Keith, I love that. David Keith or Keith David. I love that. I watched the original one with Drew Barrymore, but wasn't a huge fan of it. So
yeah. No, that didn't get amazing reviews either. I think it was a bigger deal at the time because obviously Stephen King was hot shit, and she was coming relatively hot off E.T. She was still a name kind of thing. So I think that's why it was a bigger deal. But it's neither of those films have ever grabbed me for whatever reason. I'm just not.
Because I tell you the ones that never grabbed me as well, and this is always a bit of course of contention when I tell people this. I was never fully into Carrie.
The original one, the Brian De Palma one,
the original film, or the remake.
Oh, the remake's not the remake. Feels
straight
like
to DVD sequel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the straight to DVD sequel. The remake was absolutely okay, but when you've got the original, I know you've just said you're not a fan. I think the De Palma original is actually really, really good. One of the maybe top 5 Stephen King adaptations. But yeah, it didn't need a remake. But yeah, considering the quality of Stephen King adaptations is so all over the map, which of course is, when he's basically, what is it? He sells off the rights for a penny. So it's like, if you want to make a movie based on my work, you can just send me a penny and I'll sign it off. And, that's admirable, but it also leads to some incredibly uneven adaptations.
It's sort of like becoming public domain stuff, isn't it?
Like,
Winnie the Pooh.
The Winnie the Pooh.
Blood and Honey, which they've done a combined universe now with like Winnie the Pooh and Peter Pan and Bambi.
I got no interest in it at fucking all.
No.
It's a cash grab.
So that's the kind of thing they've done. You get
I
all the random.
They're in the same kind of quality category as like the Leprechaun sequels.
Oh no! The Leprechaun sequels are better. Don't put them down with that. I mean, I haven't watched Blood and Honey, but I can tell you right now the Leprechaun sequels are better.
Well, I don't know, man.
But it's funny with Stephen King because, like I said, because he wrote so many short stories as well. You get random ones. Like, do you remember Dolan's Cadillac?
Yeah.
Just about a guy that buries a mobster in the freeway. Okay,
it's actually quite. Again, the thing is, we're both massive Stephen King fans, but a lot of his stories, as good as they are, without that internal monologue, you put up on screen and people are just acting out the actions of the book. It all starts feeling very goofy, and it's hard to describe why it works on the page. But a lot of stuff just shouldn't be adapted. It's like Stephen King, for all of his merits as a writer, and obviously a lot of his books have been turned into genuinely great movies. He doesn't necessarily have the greatest taste in movies. Like, he famously, kind of criticized the original version of The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick version, and then went and made his own version. And of course, his own version was rubbish. And people look back and like, oh yeah, well, the original Shining might be one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
I mean,
there's a long list of hot takes to Stephen King.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on The Shining being better, the Stanley Kubrick one.
Yeah,
but I didn't mind the TV show, the
miniseries. If of all the hills to die on, going after Stanley Kubrick's. But the difference was, and I've always stood by this, is I adore the book, The Shining, but I actually think Stanley Kubrick made all the right decisions. Like, I know the Topiary, is that how you say it? Topiary, however you want to say it. When it comes to life at the end of the book, that's one of the most iconic moments of the book. But back in 1980, could you have done that effectively? I just don't think you could have. And I think the ending, they can both exist with the differences and everything else. I'm like, the book's amazing for what it is, and the movie's amazing for what it is. And I think the ultimate example of this is actually It Chapter 2, which was too true to the source material and became a fucking mess. I was like, oh, they're not going to do that from the book, are they, with the ending? Yes, they're doing it. And it took all the horror, all the kind of fear that I associated with the character of Pennywise, all the reasons that he was so effective in part one were completely diminished and removed in part two. Now, part two, the book, isn't as good as part one, the book anyway. But the film was just too true to the source material. It needed somebody to be willing to look at it and go, like, some of this stuff just isn't going to work on screen. And we've got to cut it or we've got to change it. But, that's true of so many of his adaptations, I think.
We need to get back to this film because we've gone totally away. Yeah.
I know good place to start.
Well, I was going to go.
All right, go for it.
Sorry. Because we haven't really mentioned Emilio Estevez in this film.
Yeah, for good reason. He didn't do much.
He does a lot because he's always the one on screen. But I didn't know whether...
He's never doing much. Like, Brett is the one telling you he's a hero. And at any given point, I'm just like, why exactly is he a hero?
Like, I didn't know whether he was channeling 2-Bit from The Outsiders or he wanted it was his version of, like, and I know it was before that, but like Jack Burton. He felt a bit Jack Burton-y to me. But the whole thing about it, like, everyone just following this guy. Why is everyone following this guy? He's a pro Lee. He's got no power, but all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, no. And I know you always like, there's always charisma or something you follow, isn't it? That's why everyone went around Jack Burton, even though he was clearly the sidekick. We've already said that. But I just didn't get what Emilio Estevez's bill was giving off for everybody to just follow this guy, ride or die.
Well, I think it was just maybe the best of a bad bunch. Like, the one thing they universally have in common, the people in that pit stop, is that they're all plebs. You can see why, like, if Brett's going to fall in love with anyone under duress, like Speed style, it's like, well, it's going to be Bill, isn't it? Because all the other ones are absolute jokers.
Yeah.
But I agree with you in this instance. I don't think he's given enough to do or has like I said, he becomes the hero of the piece by default because, well, he's Emilio Estevez, and you're like, well, I know that guy. I know he plays, kind of occasionally heroic characters, and they're kind of billing him as the leading man of this film. But I just don't think he gets enough to do in this film. And to bring it back to comparisons with The Mist, you had, even with that shop where there was a huge cast of characters, they gave 5, 6, 7 maybe characters like proper arcs. And I'm just like, I don't think anyone has an arc in this film. Anyone. No. It's just, they're just reacting, and they're not even reacting very convincingly to what's happening.
People kept showing up, and I was like, was he in the fucking Dixie Boys all along?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people were in there? Because people just kept showing up, and I was like, I don't remember seeing you at the beginning.
Well, Yardley Smith and her husband, when their big plan is, let's get to a pit stop, like a gas station. I'm like, what? Why is that your plan? That's where trucks go. Like, all very strange, all very strange. But then this is a movie where people get killed by a vending machine. And it is an absolutely ludicrous scene, perfectly sums up the tone of this movie, both quite violent. I can't think of another film where somebody gets killed by a can of Coke. But when you see the state of his head, you're like, oh, that's pretty grim, actually.
Explain to me again as well. The vending machine is gravity fed. It's only dropping the Coke. How is it? Where's the motor or whatever that's dropping it out at speeds like that?
Well, again, we don't know the answers. It's like right at the start, back at the pit stop, when the games room goes insane. I was like, for a start, the guy in the room, I'm going to be
Giancarlo Esposito, you mean?
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. He's in there. For no apparent reason, he just shouts, "Yo, mama!" I was like, "Oh, okay."
Why is he shouting at a computer screen?
Yeah, but "Yo, mama" as well. I was like, "Okay." I hope Stephen King didn't write that, but it is what it is. And then all of a sudden, what does he get? Like electrocuted or blown up or something? I'm just like, I don't know what the mechanics are again of this. I don't know what the rules are.
No, because
that's right from the start.
It was like they led him into a false sense of security. Pick up all us as machines know that you'll love cigarettes and loose change. So we'll give you a lot of cigarettes and loose change. Oh, there's one more bit of loose change by there you haven't got. Close to the machine that's going to fry you.
And of course it fries. It's like when the waitress, all of a sudden the electric carving knife turns on. I was like, okay, I get that they can turn it on. What makes it go out of control and cut her on?
Yeah, I don't know. I also love when Giancarlo Esposito died. I also love Hendershot's go-to move is to dump him in the basement with the guns.
Yeah, well, he's a class act, Hendershot. He is a class act. I mean, again, he's one of the more memorable characters because, it's a good actor and he's a complete douchebag. But he's maybe the closest you get to, like, I don't know, a second lead in this film. Most of the characters there are just there, and they're not even, you think, okay, well, they're there to kind of die interesting deaths, but you don't even really get enough of those.
No.
Again, it's kind of goofy and fun enough that you get by, but it's not like there's a collection of genuinely memorable kills at the pit stop. Like I said, the vending machine, yes, funny. The steamrollered kid, again, I'm not sure if it's funny or violent, but it is kind of funny. And the film actually starts with what, on paper at least, is quite an impressive set piece. Like when I saw the scene with the bridge, and I know obviously the star of the show is the truck with the Green Goblin mask, I thought the scale of this film was going to be bigger.
Yeah,
I thought that it was going to be more kind of citywide. So you have this big sequence where I still don't quite know why a bridge slowly rising led that many people to die, but sure, it is what it is. But then it just goes to the pit stop, and then that's the rest of the movie. Basically, it's all very small scale.
I mean, probably because budget wouldn't allow him to have the city. You had
probably.
I just realised where I know Pat Hingle from.
Oh, he's been in loads of films.
Yeah. Well, it's not Commissioner Gordon. Obviously, he's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, in Batman 89.
Yeah. Well, Batman 89, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Was he still Commissioner Gordon?
He was Commissioner Gordon, right? Yeah. He was Horace the bartender in The Quick and the Dead, which I fucking love that film.
That's a film. I mean, that feels like it's got podcasts written all over it because I've not seen The Quick and the Dead for a long, long time. Great. I mean, he's adding to an already exceptional cast of that film.
I mean, we do that, and then we follow up with another one of his. He was U.S. Marshal Dan Kurtz in Lightning Jack.
Lightning Jack. I mean, I'm not sure if I need to rewatch Lightning Jack, but I wouldn't be surprised if we end up doing it at some point.
Quick and the Dead was 6.5 stars. Lightning Jack is 5.5 stars. So it hasn't that much of a drop in quality, according to IMDb.
I think I'd be more inclined to rewatch The Quick and the Dead, if truth be told.
Yeah, to be fair, I that was one of my first instances of ever seeing Russell Crowe.
Oh,
Top
really?
Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was earlier? That or oh, what the hell was it? I forgot Inherent Vice in my head now. LA Confidential. LA Confidential was first, right? Because that's what I remember as being to my mind, that was the first thing I saw him in was LA Confidential with Kim Basinger, and
Yeah, I think that might be a bit later, but I'm
I
looking
thought
now.
that was like 94, maybe.
I'm
I
looking
want
now.
to say.
But what I will say is, I do know that Kurt Russell had the best 1990. Not Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe had the best 1995 of anybody ever because he did The Quick and the Dead, and he also did Virtuosity.
Well, you can't beat that, can you? I was going to say, maybe Spielberg in 193 doing Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, but no, I'm pretty sure Russell Crowe doing Virtuosity and The Quick and the Dead tops that any day of the week.
I've actually beaten you as well. 97. LA
Oh, was it?
Confidential was
Oh,
97.
yeah. I don't know why I had 94 in my head, but anyway, obviously wrong. One thing I do appreciate about this film, and we've mentioned this a few times, is I love nothing more than forcing the title of the movie into the movie itself.
I wrote that down as well. They said the thing. They said the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was doing before every machine went into maximum overdrive. I'm just like, yes. That was a horrible line delivery, but I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's not quite as good. It's the best one. See, a lot of them was when we were doing Nicolas Cage season. So I want to take his face
off.
Welcome to Con Air. That was a great one. And Welcome to the Rock. He was in all three of them.
Yeah.
All fucking God, my God. Those three films, what a run. And they got the title into all three. It's exceptional stuff. You should build a statue to Nicolas Cage.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to actually save this for when you say is there anything else, but now you've it's such a segue. We had a message off one of our listeners, Dan Davis, who was very upset that when you were talking trilogies last week, I didn't bring up the Beige Volvo trilogy as one of the best trilogies.
Is that an official trilogy, though?
No, it's not an official one, but when you say one of the best trilogies, it's like I think we mentioned the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, but that is a more...
No,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There's crossover with actors and stuff like that as well. I mean, a car being in them is a bit more of a stretch. But yeah, no, it was worthy of mention. I'll give you that. I don't think it's a horrendous oversight for us to forget that, though. Or maybe I'm being too easy.
Yeah, well, I got it in the neck when we didn't mention it. So Dan, I'm mentioning it now, the Beige Volvo trilogy. And perfect timing because you've just mentioned all three of those films anyway. So
there we go. But I love the fact that horrible line reading leads into one of the most odd romantic scenes of all time. Like you say, Brett falls in love with Bill just almost by default because everyone in there is a douchebag. And then apparently they've had sex on that ugly ass mattress. I'm like, oh, guys. And they must be stinking by that point.
The stains on that mattress just... And everything felt forced after that as well, where she's telling him like he's the best ever, and then like he calls her babe and then kisses her, like just gives her a kiss.
You sure make sex, you sure make love like a hero, or whatever the fucking line is. Terrible stuff.
Yeah, it's all felt super forced.
It feels like they're trying to tell you he's a hero, despite the fact that he's not doing heroic stuff. But then this is a movie where arguably the big set piece is people pumping gas. Yeah. That is literally the big payoff of this film. And they try and tell you on the idea that this is really tough. Oh, it's no, guys.
That was shot the best. I loved it when they're all doing
really hot out there.
And they treated him like a hero when he's coming back. He goes, oh, no. A handy came out and goes, oh, you've done good, mate. You go rest. I'll take it from here.
They're just standing there.
You said about Emilio.
Wear a fucking hat, dude. Just wear a hat to be fine.
Bill and Brett as well. I think I'd rather see their blossoming relationship than see anything from Connie and Kurt, though.
Oh,
and why are the two couples sharing the same initial? Why Connie, Kurt, Bill and Brett?
Bill and Brett. Well, Bill and Brett sounds like two dudes. It
sounds like the Flower Pot Men, but okay.
It does sound a bit like Bill and Ben and the Flower Pot Men. Bill and Brett, it's just a weird choice of names. I don't know if it's trying to be like close to being alliterative. I don't know. It's a poor choice, but this movie is riddled with poor choices. It's like the sequence when they go downstairs and there's all those guns. I'm just like, oh, imagine that scene from The Matrix. Guns, lots of guns. Imagine that. Only shit. It's like, yeah, that's that sequence.
Speaking of only shit, when Bill found out about the guns, his mate is reading a Playboy mag, and that they're talking between grunts and toilet splashes. I thought, fucking hell, did you really need to put in the toilet splash of this guy having a shit?
Yeah, it seems strange that they force certain things into the film, but I think it all comes back to the tonal inconsistencies. It's like, it's interesting that when they were trying to sell this film, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the original trailer for this, but it's literally just the Green Goblin head and it's Stephen King talking down the camera to you. And he's talking about how, if he wanted to make a good Stephen King movie, he was going to have to make it himself, like completely belittling all the, Brian De Palma, whatever. So he's making this film, and he's really selling it as a horror. Like, I will scare. And you watch this film, and the one thing it isn't is scary.
It's scary, not at all.
It's not a horror film. Like, there's some violent stuff, but it's more of a kind of weird sci-fi action movie, if anything.
But the most violent stuff as well is off screen. Like when the weird army truck thing pulled up that looked like a trailer, not a car, with the M50
machine gun.
Yeah, with the machine gun on top. When what was his name again? I just forgot his name. When Hendershot got killed, they shoot it. The screen moves away from Hendershot. When it goes back to Hendershot, he's just got holes in him.
And there's not even holes in his shirt. It's just red. It's just painted red. And then he shoots up that weird gun shoots up the rest of the pit stop, and it just all looks a bit.
Another guy got shot, and you actually see him get shot.
But
then you see him. You see him look around for the chair to fall back on.
It's almost as if nobody's paying attention when he's making this film. It's but I guess that adds to like the chintzy charm, because as I was referencing earlier, like the worst Stephen King adaptations, a lot of those films, and one thing you'll say about them is that they're all universally better made movies. It's like Dreamcatcher, for instance. Dreamcatcher's a fucking mess of a movie. I've mentioned on previous podcasts, I've got a bit of a soft spot for it, but it's fundamentally a well-made, well-shot movie. It's just a bit silly. This film is a proper mess. But I think it does push towards that line. And, that line is in a different place for different people. The whole so bad it's good. I've said, for instance, the reason this works for me is because they weren't intentionally trying to make a bad film. I think that is essential. That's why I hate Sharknado versus fucking Octopus Boy, or whatever the fuck they're called. Or even, what was the Samuel L. Jackson one? Snakes on a Plane. It's too try hard. It's too knowing. The films that work are the films where they've gone out to make a good film. And it's like everyone's doing the straight face. Everyone here is trying to make a good film. It just hasn't worked. And that's what makes it fun to watch. It's a complete disaster. You can't quite figure out how it's happened beyond the whole cocaine thing.
I mean,
let's be clear, a lot of fantastic movies from the 80s were made off the back of cocaine. This is just the other end of the spectrum.
But again, loads of these films as well, where we love them because they're so bad, they're good. Like that's a lot of things. But they tried to make a good movie. Unfortunately, they fail. But I wouldn't say this is so bad it's good. It does have its moments, but it just never reaches that. I mean, the only thing I compare this to is a random comparison.
Like I said, even for myself, and the reason I think we're both having issues with the scoring is that it kind of tiptoes up to the line, but never quite goes over it.
But the only comparison, it's a weird comparison I have, is Buckaroo Banzai. Buckaroo Banzai was they set out to make a great film. They thought they were making a good film. It's weird as fuck, but it's weird in such a glorious way. Whereas this,
but I think that was a bit more knowing. I mean, some of it was accidental.
I don't know if it was knowing. I really don't know if it was knowing. They were just, that was again throwing everything at the wall.
Well, that in the intro, I said there are two different versions. It's so bad it's good, or so weird it's good. I think Buckaroo Banzai falls into the latter.
Yeah, the weird is good.
Yeah, it's so, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. I'd just say it's so weird that it's brilliant.
But I wouldn't even call this so bad it's good. It's just
it's
bad.
Okay.
It's just the choices that are made with everything just does not make sense for any of this film.
But then, did I hate watching this film?
No. I don't think I hated watching this film. It went at a clip. Fantastic 90-minute choice. Absolutely great. I was able to watch it. And you didn't have to pay much attention to it. Well, I did pay attention to it.
You really... Yeah, but you don't have to unless you're doing a podcast.
I mean, this is the definition of second screen watching. You can just have it on in the background. Every time you look up,
totally.
A truck has killed another person. Fine, great, carry on. But I just don't think it's worthy of Stephen King, which is weird to say because there is probably 1% of good Stephen King adaptations to 99%. That's a questionable adaptation. So
I mean, you said, there's the rarefied air, there's the real stinkers, there's a handful of really good ones, and then there's a lot of just they're fine. This is at the bottom end. Again, whether you enjoy watching it, that's a different conversation. But if we're talking about it on an objective level, this is one of the worst adaptations, and it just so happens to be directed by Stephen King himself. And nothing sums up, I think, more perfectly that when they finally escape the pit stop and God, I keep forgetting the name of the actual pit stop. I do apologize. The
Dixie Boys.
Dixie Boy pit stop, truck stop. When they do finally escape, and there is a great action sequence when they shoot. Basically, they blow up the machine gun fucking shopping trolley.
Yeah.
There's a weird delay before the trucks suddenly decide we're going to take him out now. I don't know why it takes so long, but they have a chat about it, whatever the fuck it is they do. And like, we're going to take him out now. When they finally blow up the truck stop, it's pretty awesome. Like, as a set piece, it is actually pretty cool. But then when they escape as a group, there's just like a random truck on the road and there is a plane sticking out the top of it, but vertically. Yeah. And I'm just like, why? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, basically, it looks like the plane dive bombed. What you have to look at is the fact that
why would it dive bomb a truck?
It wasn't a truck. It was a bus. It was a yellow bus. Did it kill the kids?
Oh, I see.
It was a yellow school bus.
That could be quite dark if that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you got to look at. It wasn't a truck. It was a yellow school bus. Was it full of kids when it dive bombed?
It seems very elaborate considering it could take control. Or maybe that's where they can take control of trucks and carts with, machine guns on them, but they can't do cars and they can't do buses maybe, but they can do planes.
Planes. And not only can you do planes, but you can play, was it Flight of the Valkyries or whatever it was? Whilst you're flying the plane, but then but I think, it's a yellow school bus. Whether or not, I think they just killed a bunch of kids.
You mentioned earlier that the darkest stuff in this film actually happens off screen. If that is the case, that is unequivocally the darkest thing that happens in this film. Is the plane smashing into a bus full of children to blow them all up. What a strange film. What a strange film. And before we move on, I have to mention then, sure, you've already alluded to this, but basically, they escape on the boat, and before you can stop and think, wait a minute, why is a boat safe? It cuts to another credit card, title card and says, 2 days after, a large UFO hiding in the tail of the comet was destroyed in space by Russian weather satellites that just happened to have lasers and a nuke. The end. What in the name of fucking God just happened? That is the most insane ending. Maybe to any. Why would a Russian satellite have lasers and a nuke?
Well, no, it was a Russian satellite in air quotes. It was in quotes. So it's not a Russian weather satellite. It's
I guess this is kind of like Cold
War-esque, yeah. So
the way it's just kind of brushed off, it's insane.
But again, did the Russians get control of it and spot the UFO? Or did the machines decide to just kill the aliens themselves?
Well, that's the other thing. Does it only have sway over Earth? Why doesn't it have control? Anyway, we're not going to keep asking questions because you know what the answer is. It's still cocaine. But then, just as you kind of get into grips with the fact that the end is just dumb as fuck, you suddenly have an end credits track by AC/DC again. And you're like, it could be any of them. It could be Who Made Who, You Shook Me All Night Long, Hell's Bells. Take your goddamn pick. Like, every time I'm thinking about, oh God, this film's a mess, I'm like, how the hell did they get that AC? Because it's not just any AC/DC soundtrack. The album is a belter. Yeah. It's got so many like iconic AC/DC songs, which are intrinsically linked to an absolute ass fucking explosion, an ass explosion of a movie. That's the first time I ever said that. But that's the kind of emotions that this movie elicits in me. Yes, but it just adds against that sense of strangeness.
The end song was Highway to Hell, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, which was funny because they were escaping on a boat.
Yeah. Anyway, should we move on to favorite scene?
Yeah, let's do that, shall we?
For me, there is actually one sequence when you see the trucks lining up, and obviously they didn't have the CG for it. There are a lot of trucks, and I was like, that's the best shot in the movie. But in terms of a scene, it probably is the trucks smashing up the Pixie Boy truck stop. Like when they do go for it at the end, it does actually look quite violent and quite impressive, and where I assume most of the budget went, so I'll go with that.
It was the Dixie Boy standoff. That moment when the trucks circle the diner like mechanical sharks. It feels like peak Stephen King insanity. You have the engines revving, the horns blaring, the Green Goblin truck blaring like it wants your soul. It was the perfect blend of camp, tension, and pure 80s excess. It's the moment that the film fully committed to its own madness, but then didn't do much with it after that.
It didn't do enough with it, and I'm sure you noticed Bic pens getting a lot of advertising in this film. Yeah. That truck with Bic on the side of it. I'm not sure you're getting that in 2026, but if you're thinking about buying a pen back in 1986, you're like, do you know what? I do need some Bics, goddammit.
Why were the Green Goblin's eyes turning red?
We don't know. We don't. Why would a truck have a Green Goblin on the front of that size? It feels like it's just going to get in the way. I mean, it's amazing kind of like advertising, I guess, for Marvel. For like, especially back then, we're talking like a D tier character, I suppose. Nowadays, that seems very harsh, but did like most people, members of the public know who the Green Goblin was in 1987, 1986. Sorry,
yeah,
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Rob's take. You've already had a few. Do you have any more?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna go with the motorcyclist on the bridge. I don't know if you noticed this. When the bridge started raising, the motorcyclist is quite at the top. He slides down. A woman tries to grab him, but he's still sliding. Yeah. How did he end up in the water?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because the bridge doesn't like open up. You just end up back on the road.
Yeah, it's sliding down, and there's no like it was a sealed barrier. There was no like
It just opens in the middle. Unless you fell over the top, there's no reason for you to fall into the water.
Yeah. So I have no idea how he slid down and then ended up in the water.
Well, you can live happily in the knowledge. I don't think anyone has the answer.
We've already like Rob takes it funny. Like we put a bunch of reels on lately, and a couple of people have gone on Facebook and they've gone, "It's a movie. Calm down." Like you're missing the whole point of a Rob's take.
Yeah. That is the point. It's something silly that only annoys you. It's like, what are you going to do? Yeah. So we've done Rob's take favorite scenes. Oscar season, in which we hand out 3 Oscars and 3 Razzies in categories of our choosing. So for me, the Oscar for best soundtrack to an otherwise rather rubbish movie goes to AC/DC. I've already listed some of the songs, absolute belters. 2, the Oscar for best product placement goes to Marvel and the Green Goblin. Still not sure what they were thinking or whether they just happened across a truck which had the Green Goblin and just thought, fuck it, let's go with it. And 3, the Oscar for most potentially perfect girlfriend material goes to Laura Harrington as Brett. Clearly down to fuck. Like, the whole "you're my hero," she can take care of herself. She just ticks all the boxes, man. And she's obviously keen enough to have sex on that dirty ass mattress. So, she's not too fancy about that. And I'm going to add one more, but this is a special category. The Jennifer Love Hewitt "What Are You Waiting For" award goes to Wanda, the waitress, and her "We Made You" breakdown. It comes out of nowhere because she showed no emotion before that. We made you. It's like, wow. And it just reminded me so much of Jennifer Love Hewitt in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah,
what in her own mental breakdown. What are you waiting for? I'm sure they're sending that up again in the new Scary Movie.
Yeah,
that's how iconic that sequence is. They're bringing it back for 2026.
Yeah, because she did, didn't she? Like Anna Faris did it and then got run over or something.
Yeah. I think they're running the joke back in the trailer, which is cool.
Right, so for me, the Oscar for the best use of AC/DC as a narrative device goes to the entire film. The Oscar for the best overacting in a crisis goes to Pat Hingle as Robert. He chews scenery like it owes him money.
Well, he's pretty sensitive about his money, so I get it.
The Oscar for the best killer vehicle has to go to the Green Goblin truck.
100%.
It has more personality than half of the cast.
It really does. There's a reason it's on all the posters. It's not actually in the movie as much as you'd think, and it doesn't actually do all that much, but it just looks awesome, and sometimes that's enough. The Razzie for worst cameo by a director this side of M. Night Shyamalan and Quentin Tarantino goes to Stephen King as Guy at the Cash Machine. I mean, I've written that down. I'm still not sure, like with this film, if it's awesome or terrible, but it is memorable. I'll give him that. The Razzie for least fucks given, despite the clear evidence that sentient machines appear to be taking over the world, goes to everyone at the Pixie Boy truck stop. Nobody talks about it. Everyone just gets on with their day. And the Razzie for needlessly douchey store owner goes to Pat Hingle as Hendershot. Really, like I said, people are dying. That one guy is like, I've got to find my son, who's clearly in trouble and he's out there on his own. He's like, if you don't like clock in, you don't come back. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he was chill the fuck out.
So funny. He wasn't worried about him leaving during his shift. He was like, you're still clocked in.
Dude, Pat, like you've got bigger fish to fry, dude. But I mean, you've seen his arsenal downstairs. He's clearly out of his mind.
I had to ask as well. He was saying, do you know what the star means on your time card? It means you were parolee. It means I own your ass. And then when Bill looked at the time cards, he saw a bunch of stars. Why did one of the parolees have 2 stars? Are they a 2-time parolee?
I don't know. What all I can think about with that sequence is like the big kind of like threat from Pat Hingle is like, I'm going to make you work 9 hours, but I'm only going to pay you for 8. Like, wow, this guy's the worst. He's a modern day Darth Vader.
Right. So for me, the Razzie for the worst machine logic goes to the bridge sequence.
Yeah.
The Razzie for the worst attempt at human dialogue is the Newlyweds. Every line they do, every line they speak sounds like it was written during a caffeine crash or a cocaine binge, whichever one you want to go for. And finally, the Razzie for the worst explanation of how anything works is the gun controlling machine logic. How does a mounted M60 fire itself? Don't ask, because the film certainly didn't.
No, I certainly didn't. And I'm amazed neither of us had Yardley Smith, just full stop, as just most annoying voice. So I will add a fourth one on both of our behalves. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
Any alternative titles for this film? I won't be surprised, actually, because the last two films we've covered have had the most generic 80s titles. Maximum Overdrive and Extreme Prejudice. I mean, those sound like accidental typos almost.
Yeah. Argentina, 8 Days of Terror.
I mean, if they are in there for 8 days, it's not. I never got the feeling they were there for 8 days. Felt like maybe like a couple of days.
Well,
max.
the thing at the front said,
how long the comet passed over. Yeah.
So the machines take over for 8 days, but I don't think they were in there for 8 days because
But
they said 2 days later the comet was still passing. Yeah. Austria, Ria M. It started without warning.
Ria M. It started with. That sounds almost like a wonderful 50s sci-fi B movie.
Well, we're not doing Ria as in REAR. It's Ria as in the name RHEA.
Oh, in that case, I have no idea then. That's the same.
Brazil, Terror Convoy.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Bulgaria, At Maximum Speed. Canada,
no, not really.
Canada, Evil Trucks.
Yeah, I mean, simple and effective, I guess.
Colombia, The Horror Machines. Czech Republic, The Rebellion of the Machines.
Yeah.
Hungary, Maximum Overclocking.
Okay, fair enough.
Italy, Thrill.
No, it's too simple.
Japan, Hell's Devil Truck.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Netherlands, Volume Gas.
Nope.
Poland, Maximum Acceleration.
They're not fast enough. It doesn't work.
No. Spain, The Rise of the Machines.
But then, just be clear, there is a world where Speed 2 stars a kind of giant boat which goes very slow. So, it's what it is.
Taiwan must have thought the Green Goblin truck was speaking because their title's fantastic. Thrilling. It crashed into you.
Yeah, that's probably the best one. It's insane, but then so is this movie.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I'm probably going to stick bizarrely with Maximum Overdrive, if only because it's said in the movie. I can't, that's one of the best things that happens in this film. Any facts in this film?
When asked why he hasn't directed a movie since this one, Stephen King responded, just watch Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, well, I mentioned earlier about the worst Stephen King adaptations. He was once asked, what is the worst Stephen King adaptation? And he said, my one. So, yeah fair enough.
It's long been rumored that George A. Romero ghost directed a large portion of the film while Stephen King was seeking treatment for his cocaine addiction. Many fans of Romero's work have noted that the film features many of his distinct camera angles and editing choices. Whilst King has never admitted this, he has mentioned that Romero was constantly on set and King would frequently ask him for advice about directing.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's not something we've really mentioned. It's not horribly directed. It's not a terrible looking film. Just the decisions are insane.
Yeah.
So in any given moment, if you're just looking at it was like we said earlier with the AC/DC thing. If you're just listening to AC/DC and somebody cuts a clip from the film, you're like, fucking AC/DC, the song's banging, and you see the sequence, you're like, oh, it's kind of directed okay. This looks pretty decent. This film probably clips really well. If you watch like a 3-minute stretch, you'd be like, this looks all right. But as a movie, it's insane.
Which would go well with this next fact. Stephen King later admitted that he was poked out of his mind during production and often didn't know what he was doing. He remarked that he'd like to try directing sober someday.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah. But the thing is, though, I feel like it's that excuse, that crutch. It's like, I'm terrible at directing, but I was on all the cocaine. But then, if you direct a follow-up and it's also shit, they're just like, oh, dude, it wasn't the cocaine. He's just a terrible director.
The original scripted ending had the Dixie Boy survivors deal with one last obstacle before escaping, a machine gun-mounted Coast Guard boat. There was also to be one last shot of the city of Wilmington being destroyed by the machines, rumoured to have been done via a matte painting.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, it would add to I'm not sure about the boat bit, but I think seeing the city blow up in the background would have added that sense of scale because, all the way through the film, you're just seeing this tiny little corner of Wilmington. And then to see that, the kind of broad scale would be like, holy shit, like the whole world is fucked. That'd be kind of cool.
The trailer for this film used the John Carpenter Alan Howarth score from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Fucking belter. Whenever I think of film, I always just think of the advert from the film. Have you seen Season of the Witch?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yardley Smith is very embarrassed by this film.
Yeah, she's the worst. The film's bad, but she's the worst.
Stephen King originally wanted to cast Bruce Springsteen in the lead.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Again, that feels very cokey, very cokey.
Yeah.
But like, dude, we'll make it. It'll be based on my book. You know, the one with the machines, and they take over like North Carolina. We'll get the boss. Yeah, the boss will be in it. You know, it's just like, all right, chill out, dude.
In the film, the Earth passes through the comet's tail on June 19th, 1987. On June 19th, 1999, Stephen King was hit and nearly killed by a distracted truck driver. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, spooky indeed.
Gary Busey was interested in starring in the film.
Of course he was.
I can't do it now without thinking Gary just goes nuts in any of these films. He goes full Lucy Busey.
I'd love to see Gary Busey be a better fit for this film than Emilio Estevez. We know you mentioned that. The whole Emilio Estevez thing being in this is quite bizarre because he was, he wasn't at the peak of his powers, but he had just done The Outsiders, Repo Man, Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, and then he does this. Yeah. All I can think is the Stephen King part was the big draw because he was, in terms of the books, he's released some of the biggest books he's ever going to release in his career, and then he's suddenly directing a film. I reckon some people are just like, I'm going to roll the dice on this.
That's it, really. The others are just not the best.
Fair enough. So, Hugs of Future is where we ask a question: remake, sequel, Let It Die, Live Well or Don't. I mean, Let It Die, right? It has to be Let It Die. It's a movie of its time, to say the least. I don't think the story's interesting. There is a better version of this, as I said. You think of The Mist as being a better version of basically the same story.
Or actual trucks.
Or trucks, for instance. But yeah, I'd happily see this die, basically.
I mean, the right answer is Let It Die. I do know that since like 2020, his son Joe King has been trying to write a better adaptation and wanted to direct it. So he's trying to go down that route.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you could, like you said, if it was written by Joe Hill and he could convince his dad, Stephen King, to go back in the director's chair, it would be interesting.
No, Joe wants to direct it.
Or even if it was Joe as well, that there would be something, you could sell the narrative, couldn't you? It's like, his son's going to give it a go, sans cocaine, and see if the family can get the story right for the big screen. So if that was the case, I'm like, all right, let's fucking give this a bash.
If your last name is King, do you name your kid Joe?
Joe King, yeah, it's a bit of a... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder he changed his name.
Joe Hill, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That's probably, again, I wonder if that was around the cocaine time. How old's his son? Yeah, it probably adds up. Kind of thing you don't think about if you're absolutely, up to your eyeballs in cocaine. Make a change. So if you're going to make one change to make this movie better, I mean, other than where to start, I mentioned a bunch of times, literally just a moment ago, but I really would lean into the whole character drama at the Pixie Boy truck stop out of the mist. I think that's what this film is ultimately really missing. There are some other issues with this film for sure, but I just think the cast and the setup is kind of wasted.
We got to that section pretty quick after the name thing then, so I couldn't say it, so I'm going to say it now. I picture when Stephen King was writing the certificate and putting the kid's name down, him giggling like Peter Griffin when he wrote Megatron Griffin.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
What's his name? Joe King. Right, anyway, make a change. Give the machine rules. The film would be stronger if the machines followed consistent logic. Why do some vehicles turn evil while others don't? Why can a gun fire itself but a car can't steer itself? If King had given the machine a clear set of rules, or even a vague one, the chaos would feel intentional instead of random.
Yeah, yes, fair enough. In terms of video games, unsurprisingly, there wasn't a Maximum Overdrive video game. If you're going to make one, the obvious kind of answers are those kind of like vehicular combat games like Carmageddon and Twisted Metal. But I was actually going to pick the lesser played Vigilante 8 Second Defense by Luxoflux, and it was published by Activision in 1999. I ended up actually playing it on the Dreamcast, but it came to the N64 on the PlayStation. And it's like this long forgotten but surprisingly brilliant vehicular combat game. So just as an excuse to bring it back, I would basically have Vigilante 8 Third Defense Maximum Overdrive Edition.
I wouldn't say it was obvious, mine, because I see what you've done. You've gone down the vehicular combat route, but the machines are the vehicles, and there was no combat coming from the other guy. So I went down the humans being trapped route, and I went Dead Rising.
That's a good show.
You've got the over-the-top carnage, the world gone mad, the humans trapped in a single location. So comedy and horror smashed together. I don't know. I went down that route. So I
No,
was
no,
thinking
so
more of
yeah.
the humans being trapped than I was
Yeah, it's probably a more
yeah.
sensible choice, if truth be told. And I was actually thinking, just because I just watched the Sony State of Play, and one of the games I wasn't expecting to show up is they're doing a new
Stuntman.
Stuntman game. And I was like, oh, I'd quite like a maximum, because they've got, like, in fairness, like a whole bunch of licenses. They've got, like,
Yeah.
Back to the
Night
Future,
Rider, Back to
Knight
the
Rider,
Future,
yeah.
Fast and Furious is
Fast and
obviously.
Furious.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Jesus Christ, the White Ferrari. Oh my God, you know what's from the TV show with Hobbs. They're remaking it.
Yeah, I know what you're about. Miami
The
Vice.
Ridley Scott Miami Vice. Thank you. Sorry, just completely dropped out of my head.
Ridley
so it's
Scott.
Did Ridley Scott not direct?
Well, the Colin Farrell
Tony
version was
Scott.
Michael Mann.
Michael Mann. Sorry, Tony Scott.
Yeah.
Michael Mann. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I don't know what happened to me the last couple of seconds. I might be having a stroke. I do apologize. But anyway, to bring it back to this, I like the idea of a maximum overdrive level. Like, you know, everyone's expecting these big kind of franchises, and then you've got like the trucks just blowing up the truck stop in the movie. I think that'd be kind of cool.
You like that Miami Vice?
Which one?
Colin Farrell one.
I had a big issue because from what I remember, it used that whole kind of high definition handy cam thing, which was like briefly popular around the time. So I had an issue with the way it was shot. But I thought they were like pretty well cast, and it definitely had its moments, but I didn't love it. But I've not seen it since, like, when was it released? Like
2006.
2006.
I watched it in the cinema. I don't remember anything about that film.
That's all I really remember is, like, I wasn't crazy about the way it was shot. I thought some of it was quite good. I quite liked the two leads, and the rest of it I cannot remember at all.
Have you seen who's in the remake?
I mean, I've heard who's been rumored to be in the remake. I'm not sure if they've actually signed up, or have they now?
Oh, well, according to IMDb, but that doesn't mean anything. For Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler.
Yeah. But I think on paper that's a pretty cool cast.
Being directed by your guy, Kaczynski.
Oh yeah, well he's a perfect choice for it, because if ever a film should be style over substance, it's a Miami Vice movie.
Yeah.
So Kaczynski directing those two in a Miami Vice like movie. I'm totally on board with that. God, what the hell happened to me there? Anyway, IMDb. So this is where we pick a random 10-star and 1-star review. This could be tricky this week, and is a real test of its cult credentials to see if anyone's given this 10 stars. It's also, I find with cult movies, tricky to guess how many reviews there are. Over 100?
Over 100.
242.
Over 200.
417.
302.
Okay, shit.
Yeah.
I told you it was going to be tricky. 302. Out of 302 reviews, how many psychopaths gave this 10? 21?
39.
Oh, okay.
Nearly 10% of the audience.
That's a lot, man. That's too many. But like I said, when you get these cult movies, some people, they end up loving this shit.
Right. So this was written in September 2007, titled Best B Movie Ever.
Shut up,
Man, what a great movie. Emilio shows he's just got what it takes. I was 12 when this came out, and I can't think of anything that scared the crap out of you and entertained as well. Now it's 20 years later, and I have a younger... Sorry, I'll start again. Now it's 20 years later, and I have a younger that's just about 12, so we rented it. And I'm going to let him tell what he thinks, because I can't fill 10 lines of excellence like he can. Here is his side of the story. Okay, so I think for an 80s movie, it's really good. I mean, the blood and how they die, I mean, it surprised me, but I knew it was coming because Stephen King made it, and the music sound a little bit like Psycho. I hoped I spelt it right. It was so crazy, and I may have screamed a little. 10 stars.
I don't know when the grown-up stopped writing and when the child started writing, but it was, I guess, the nicest thing you can say is quite a high concept review, but yes, terrible. And unsurprisingly, a 10-star review for this film is insane, of course.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't vet these reviews, and I know I struggle with reading them, but I'm never going to vet these reviews because I think it's easier
that's the
to
whole
do it
point.
this way.
Yeah, of course. 1-star review, there has to be more 1-star reviews.
Go with your original answer.
What? Like 19 or 20?
21.
So there's half as many 1-star reviews there are. I mean, again, though, I get why people writing a review for this film, because it's a cult film, majority of people are going to be people who feel like passionate about it. Like, how many people are just going to like accidentally come across Maximum Overdrive?
Yeah.
Chances are they're Stephen King fans or they're B-movie fans who have heard about this. So I kind of get it. But also, come on, guys, there should be a few more 1-star reviews for this.
Right. So written in July 2004, titled So Bad It's Bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
There may be spoilers here, but it doesn't matter in a movie this asinine and predictable. Machines start operating independently and killing people. An army jeep like thing with an M60 mounted that it can fire knows Morse code, as does the de rigueur precocious kid.
De rigor precocious kid.
Okay, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
And good thing too. Or the humans wouldn't know to pump gas for the machines, and there goes half the move. And why would a toy store put a scary face on their trucks? To scare off customers? Do people who like this kind of movie like thinking, oh, he's about to die because he's evil, stupid, greedy, wimpy, etc., and then watch it happen? There's no explanation other than some text at the end about a Russian satellite or a UFO or something. But by that time, who the heck cares about anything making sense? This movie is beyond stupid. There is nothing good about this movie. The writing, the acting, the direction, nothing well. Laura Harrington's cute, though, or was 18 years ago.
Yeah, kind of mental review, but I agree with a lot of it. And it did make something we didn't really talk about. The fact that the truck is for a toy store. So it has that on the front. Sorry, that is the reason, isn't it? It has the Green Goblin mask because it's a toy store, but it also has like a creepy clown on the back. It's like, what the fuck were the toy store thinking? Just a terrible choice. It doesn't look appealing to kids at all.
The same psychos that made the fucking Chucky doll.
Yeah, absolutely out of their minds. Which brings us to our own scores and recommendations. And after I'm an hour, I'm going to stick with my original score. It's a 2 and a no. I mean, there are elements of this film where you can make the argument it's a 1-star film. It's not particularly well made. As I said, it's directed okay, but so many of the decisions are just bad. But it is kind of fun. And part of it's the fact that it's a relatively lean 96 minutes and it's got a partly likable cast at least, and some memorable sequences. So, I didn't hate watching it. I can see how it would be fun with the right kind of crowd, but watching it on your own, it's not a fantastic film. It's 2 and a no.
1.5 and hell to the no. And I couldn't recommend it.
So it hasn't aged well for you. You didn't enjoy it the same way that you did when you were 12 years old.
No. It really hasn't
I totally get that though. If I'd watched this when I was like fucking 9, I can be like you say, trucks, blowing things. I'm just like, yeah, it all sounds cool on paper.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I have to at least. People say, "Oh, leave your brain at the door." I can't leave my brain outside or back somewhere else. It's like eventually my brain is going to be there for at least a moment, and as soon as it is, it doesn't particularly like what it's seeing. So yes, 2 and a no, and I'm probably being quite kind there. Before we go on to next week's choice, I've actually remembered the quiz. So this week we're doing a game about identifying movies from the worst descriptions ever. As always, there will be 3 for you to guess. So the first one, a high school girl learns a lot about seaweed. This is a tricky one. I'm not sure if you would have seen this.
High school girl learns a lot about seaweed.
Mm-hmm. The hint is that she's pleasantly plump. It's not actually a bad. For
some reason, all I can think of is like Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka.
No, there was a remake. I'm sure there's a remake of this with John Travolta, bizarrely. I'm sure there was a remake of this.
Hairspray?
Hairspray, yeah. 1988's Hairspray. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. You need a second hint, but you got
me there. So, why the seaweed?
I can't remember. I've not seen the original.
One of the guys' name in it is Seaweed.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, yeah, because I hadn't seen that film. I was just like, it's one of those ones. Like, I'm not sure if you would have even seen it. A woman wears a suit to meet the Queen. That's quite a clever one, actually. Quite a clever one.
Suit
to meet the Queen.
The Queen. Oh, Aliens.
Oh, dude, you've done well there. You've done well there. I was like, that's really clever, but I was like, it might be a little bit too.
The suit of armor, yeah.
Yeah. The hint is there in space, which I thought you'd get from the hint, but fair play to you for getting that. Not sure if I would have got it. And the last one, an Indian needs glasses. That's a good one. That's a good one.
An Indian needs glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you think Indian, don't think quite so literally.
No, I know. I'm thinking like Native American, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's linked to it, but...
Okay. Go on. What's the hint?
Well, I'm not going to give you the official hint because you'll definitely get it off that. You really like this film.
That doesn't help me. I like quite a few films.
And we've covered it on this podcast. Needless to say, you chose it.
Of course I did. An Indian needs glasses.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like when you hear it, you're like, of course, but it's actually quite a sneaky clue.
Right.
The hint
only
is you'll get it off the hint. He plays baseball.
Major League.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
plays for the Cleveland Indians and he wears
yeah.
glasses.
No,
Yeah,
the reason because you picked Major League, you've totally confused me.
Oh well, I mean, you kept banging on about it. If I chose it,
Yeah,
my apologies.
I
But
love the
yeah.
film. Yeah, no, I do love Major League. And then, fucking Charlie Sheen, of course. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
one of those weird ones. Like when you hear, like, oh yeah, of course.
That's a
But
good one.
right, fair play. Like the Alien one in particular. Again, that one I thought that one's like is a clever one, but I thought it was tricky. But you got on pretty quick. So yeah, like 1.5, 1.5,
1.5. Yeah,
1.5. I think that's fair
so.
enough. Yeah, because I think I gave myself
You
1.5.
spoon fed the
Yeah,
one to
but
me,
I mean, you definitely spoon fed one of the ones last week, and I gave myself half a mark. Anyway, that has been 1986's Maximum Overdrive. Let us never speak of it again. Next week is your choice, sir.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do the Stephen King season just yet. I don't
That's
know if
quite all
I
right.
could do another run because all the
Yeah.
ones I wanted to do can't get for the UK, and I don't know if I want to go bad again because I was going to pick Night Flyer. I was going to pick.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I feel like we'd have to go for like a safer pair of hands, and so there are like good Stephen King adaptations which we could obviously cover. But we were talking about doing like an alternative Stephen King season. But starting with that, I kind of need a breather. I think.
So I do apologize because it's a 2-hour movie, so you got to sit
That's
down.
okay.
You got to get your wife to sit down for about 30 minutes more. The year is 2002.
2002. Oh, for some reason, the first movie that popped into my head, and it probably wasn't 2002, was Gone in 60 Seconds. I have no idea why.
You're close. That was 2000.
Was that? I thought it was around that time. I don't know. It popped into my head. 2002. There was like Matrix. Were the Matrix sequels? Matrix Reloaded 2002.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars: Attack of the Clones was 2002.
Keep guessing because none of them.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I'm going to need more than that.
Okay, I really don't want to give you the. It's one of those things. If I give you the actor, will you get it straight away or not?
I'll go for it.
I've never seen this film. I've always wanted to watch it. I've read the.
Oh, so you've never seen this film?
I've never seen this film.
Okay, cool.
So I'm using this as an excuse to actually watch it. 2002, starring Tom Hanks.
2002, not Catch Me If You Can.
No. I think that was 2001.
What would have been after that? It's not. It wouldn't be Polar Express.
That was 2004.
2002. Tom Hanks. Why am I struggling with this? I feel like I should know this.
Well, to be fair, it's one that I don't know if you've watched it. It's not a Tom.
It's not
Hanks.
the musical one, is it?
No, fuck no.
No, the one where he kind of manages a band or something. Yeah. That's from the 90s, isn't it?
That's 99. That's what
That Thing You Do.
That Thing You Do, yeah.
Yeah.
Mind that. He directed that. Tom Hanks directed that thing.
Oh, I totally forgot he directed that. And that's another one of those movies. I've seen it. I remember thinking that was okay. Can't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
2002.
It's a role that I wouldn't have thought Tom Hanks plays or anymore.
Oh, the one where he's the gangster, based on the novel. Is it a graphic novel even?
The graphic novel, yeah.
Oh, what the hell's it called?
You're getting it.
I can see the poster. It's a great film. It is a really good film. This is a great choice. This is a film which it feels like, bizarrely, it's fallen off the radar. Like a really good film. Because
you are there. Should I just give it to you?
Yeah, go for it.
Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition. Thank you very much. Sorry, the name had dropped out of my head. But that's another of those films. It's really good. Was it the last ever role for
the last big screen role, they want to say, or on-screen role. He must have.
Oh, he did Cars afterwards, didn't he?
Yeah, but the last on-screen role of Paul Newman. Kieran Hines, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Daniel Craig, fucking the Tooch, Stanley Tucci is in this.
Yeah, it's got a great cast. You would never guess it was based on a graphic novel, and it's one of those rarest of beasts where Tom Hanks plays a bad guy. He's a bad guy, but not a bad guy. One of those again.
Anti-hero.
Yeah. And yeah, I have not seen that film since like 2004, and I feel like it has disappeared off. Like I just forgot it was a thing.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's the reason why it just popped up in my socials, and I thought, oh, you know what? Because again, it's one of those. It's one of those. I'm an assassin or a gangster, wherever, but now I'm going up against my family because you've murdered my family or whatever it is. So For me, it'll be good to see Tom Hanks play that kind of role because I haven't seen him do any of this.
Well, from what I recall, he was great. And it's a really good film. I mean, what interesting. What's the IMDb on that? 7.2, I would guess at.
7.6,
Even better than I thought.
Yeah.
That's high. But again, like I said, really well-regarded film, did pretty good numbers at the box office, amazing cast, unique because it's Tom Hanks playing a bad guy. But when was the last time that was on TV? I can't remember the last time Road, or even on Netflix or something. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember the last time I was flicking through Amazon Prime. I'm like, oh, fucking cool, Road to Perdition.
I didn't even mention Jude Law was in this film. And you've mentioned Netflix and you've mentioned Amazon Prime. If you were flicking through Disney, you'd probably find it.
Is it on there,
Disney.
is it?
It's on Disney, yeah.
That is so weird because just today I was thinking there's a few things all of a sudden on Disney Prime that I want to watch. And I don't have Disney Plus at the moment. I was like, I'm going to wait until we do a movie where it's on Disney Prime, because that's always my it's like with the Studio Canal thing. I'm like, there's movies I want to see on Studio Canal, but I'll wait until I have that excuse, because it's rent the movie for $3.50 or have Studio Canal for a month for $5. I'm like, I'll do the Studio Canal thing. And it's the same with Disney Plus. I'm like, if I rent the film, it's going to cost $3.50, £4, or I can have a month of Disney Plus for an extra £1 or something. So that's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to watch the Punisher movie.
Oh, the One Last Kill.
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah. It's good. It's basically the it's basically the Raid kind of.
I love the Raid,
but not him going up.
The only problem is every movie that's kind of like the Raid isn't as good as the Raid.
It's the Raid, yeah. But
yeah, it's like when they had all those movies, it's Die Hard on a plane, or it's Die Hard in this. But you also might as well call it Die Hard, but not as good as Die Hard.
It's good. There is a ropey CGI shot. You will see it.
Yeah,
when you see
I have seen that.
Yeah, ropey. And same with my argument for any of these superhero films, especially because they keep doing it. Put him in the fucking suit. Just put him in the suit and carry on. I don't want the last shot or the last fight scene to be. Put him in the suit. This is what I came for. The one that
and it's been long enough, right? He's had his own TV show. He's been in Daredevil for fucking years. Just put him in the suit.
It was a TV show. It was 2 seasons of him not wearing the skull until the last episode. And I'm like, this is fucking pissing me off. And it was the same again with Daredevil. He was in a black suit for great fucking seasons, but he's in a black suit for season 1. The Netflix one's now, not Born Again. Season 2, he's Daredevil all the way through. Fucking fantastic. Season 3, he doesn't wear it again. Bullseye wears the suit. Like, what are you doing? Put him in the fucking suit and move on.
Sometimes it feels like we're being trolls. I think the most extreme example of that was Twin Peaks: The Return, a series I wanted because I love Twin Peaks, and I was watching that. And you have Coop, the lead character, but he isn't Coop. He's basically it's
being
the same
taken
character.
over. Yeah, I remember that.
He's playing a different character, and you're waiting for him to become Coop as you remember him. The coffee donut loving Coop. And it just keeps going and going and going. The next episode, Coop will definitely be back. And I think out of 17 episodes, he comes back in 15. You are fucking shitting me. It was ridiculous. And there's some great stuff in that series, but it's also some of the worst TV I've ever seen. So it's a real mixed bag. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Twin Peaks: The Return. I think that's a great choice. I don't think many people have seen that come in because, like us, I think a lot of people have forgotten that Road to Perdition exists, which sounds like a criticism. It's not because it's bad. It's just nobody talks about Road to Perdition anymore.
I don't know. This feels like a movie that was up my alley. So I don't know why I've never watched it.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this much right now. I haven't seen it for ages. I'll bet the farm this is still good. Just out of interest, who directs it? I totally forgot.
Sam Mendes.
Oh, dude, yeah. Sam Mendes is class. No wonder it's so fucking good. This just ticks all the boxes. I think this is going to be a great rewatch. So good choice. And just be clear, a genuine quality palate cleanser after Maximum Overdrive. I think, like you said, we were talking about the Stephen King season. I think we need to do a good movie after this. This was fun in its own way because it was.
I know, but sometimes you need to.
I don't want another one. Yeah. I enjoyed this as bad as it was for what it is. I don't need another dose of this. I need some quality movie in my life, and I think that's a fine choice. So, anything else to add before we wrap this up?
No, I only had the one message, and I've already called him out. So,
cool. So called him out. That sounds so aggressive. I called that motherfucker.
Oh, he called me fucking out. How dare you not mention the Base Volvo trilogy? If he's in front of me, I'm sure he would have slapped me.
Strong language. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I've been Liam. He's been Rob, and you have been listening to the Hey Guys podcast. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Oh, and before I forget, where can folk reach us if they were so inclined to?
Well, you can actually reach us on Hey You Guys 80s at Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. But if you want to send us a mail, do heyyouguys80s@gmail.com. Send us in your recommendations. Send us in your thoughts about any of the episodes. Just literally talk to us. We'll have a one-sided talk with you on the podcast.
Yeah. We're nice folk. Get in touch. But no, cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.